ask y'all this question, and I've said this before in private, and I just need to go ahead and make a video and get it out there on the record. This is not all white people, and this is even some black people, people of color. I'm speaking about the conservative stereotypes, these rednecks. I'm talking about people like Gun Girl. This is a female I just become a little bit aware of. She went to Kent State carrying an assault rifle in her back. David Packman had her on. I think she was on InfoWars. I think I seen her years ago. It's like Milo. I didn't know these people. I didn't follow. I knew even years ago that these are freaks. These are people who they would not talk to me. Like I wasn't a dummy. I knew about racism. I just didn't understand that racism is a lot more than just about I hate you, nigga. It's about keeping you from jobs. It's about confronting you wherever you go. It's about wherever you're at, then they can just bust in. It's about disrespect. I didn't get that back then, but I was familiar with her somewhat. She's like that other guy in San Diego that goes up and makes up. I forgot his name. Mark Dice. What is it like for white people to go to places and know you're hated? Like I go places here in Charlotte, I do this mail work and stuff like that. And it's, it's mostly black folks working there or younger white dudes working there or whatever. You can tell they blend in. If they are on that Trump shit, I don't detect it. You kind of can tell. And you got these older white guys and it's just like, I can just feel it in my bones. The way they look at you, that rage, they look angry. It's not an intense look like I'm determined. It's a look of hate. Everywhere they go. All the time. It's hate. What is that like? Like, I'm just wondering, for a Caucasian, what does it mean to go to a gay pride parade and start confronting people on camera? What does it mean as a white person to go to a mall? Like, what goes in your mind to go say, you know what? I'm going to load up my AR-15 and go to this mall and put it on YouTube. Videotape the whole interaction with police. And then the police try to confront me. I'm gonna get buck with them. What does it mean when you're white and like you get stopped by the police and there's videos of them cussing the police out? Nothing happens to them. Police just step back. They don't do anything. They don't pull their guns out. They don't get aggressive. They just back up. What does it mean? I mean, just be a Caucasian, just know. Like, I learned that with Charlottesville. There was a guy on RT that talked about it, that how he was a white supremacist at one time. And how they would drive 6-7 hours across the state to go to a rally. And they knew from the moment they got there, they're outnumbered. And they're okay with that. They're going to get, like, what is that like? I don't do that. Like, I don't get up in the morning and say, I'm just going to go fuck with people who are different than me because politically I don't like them. I don't do that. I've never done that. When I was a conservative, I never was like, I'm going to go confront people. Like what is that in the Caucasian mind? The wish to confront people. The wish to go and stop people that aren't messing with you. They're not on your property. I can understand when they're on your property. I can understand when it's something like that. But the video, the one in New York, I think, where the black man was UPS stuff and the white woman walks up to him fucking with him and I'm scared of you. And it's like, I want to push that bitch down. I'd have pushed out where I would have swung on her ass. Period. And putting her hands up in his face and stuff. Like, what is that like? You're a loser. I don't care how much money you made last year. I don't care how many cars you got. I don't care who your wife, your husband. I don't care. You're a fucking loser. You are what the Georgia Guidestone talked about. To be basically like a insect, a sucking thing on society. That's the Caucasian. That's you. It's like no matter what's going on, you've got to stop what you're doing to go confront black people or confront Hispanics when they're just out there. And see, you know what? That's what fuels socialism. There was I wanted to make a video on this. Let's go ahead and go to this. Roland Martin had somebody on there talking about how 6 out of 8 black Americans are conservatives or moderates. I think that's true. I think for one thing, a lot of black people aren't really politically in it. They're not. And I think that a lot, especially in the South, there's a lot, most blacks in this country in the South, they've grown up in the South, so they picked up some of that conservative stuff. They're not politically conscious because they don't, because historically politics isn't anything for us. We're ingrained in this dumbed down, ignorant culture we've been given, the gangster shit. You know, we gain all this weight and all this eating shit. So we really, you know what that says? That shows you the weakness of Trump, if that's true. That ratio, that statistic. Because if Trump had played his cards right, he could have swooped black people up. Just like Hitler could have done it. The Nazis could have used Jews. You're talking about the Nazis being able to get the atomic bomb? Well, for one thing, don't go and try to kill off some of the smartest people in your population. That was one thing you don't do. It's like if I want to drive somewhere, I don't go outside and pop my tires and bust out my windows and bust out my head. I wouldn't do that. That's not going to help me achieve my goal. But I understand when white supremacy don't think that way. If that statistic's correct, Trump could have used black people. He did, but he could have used them better. He could have, kind of went into the racism a little bit slow. He's a racist. Everything about Trump, his whole rationale be racist. If you ask me 20 years from now, I'll say the same thing. He's a racist. Everything about him is a racist. His supporters are racist. At the end of the day, that's all it is. You can try to put red on it and make America great, keep America great. It's racism. It's hatred. And it's about returning America to it's about nationalism. White supremacy staying in control. And we're not going to engage in discussions about climate change. We're not going to engage in discussions about food safety. We're not going to engage in discussions about income inequality and all those things. We're not going to even talk about that. And we're going to just go back to white folks being at the top and running things. That's what that is. I just think that when you do this stuff I mentioned earlier, confronting black people, we all see it. These videos about just this police doing bullshit. I've done a video on this months ago, talking about this very issue, that I think it makes black people realize that we don't count. We don't count here. And if as a black man, as a Caucasian, if you don't respect me, I'm not going to respect white supremacy. Like I say this all the time. Growing up, I always thought that the white supremacy, or I didn't think of it like that, but their goal or their best tool, their best superpower was at making blacks and Hispanics want white people have. You understand that? Like I tell my friend Denzel, the European woman, the European house, the European car, the European wife. That was their superpower. And it worked. Hell yeah, it worked. To possibly one day have stability. To possibly one day have this, era where we're safe. But I realize now that they're not even interested in that anymore. Maybe it's because it's not possible for everybody. Maybe it's because white folks don't care. David Packman spoke about something a while back, that capitalism will keep going. A lot of socialists think that one day it'll break down, the proletariat to rise up, whatever, all that bullshit. He says, no, they'll keep playing the game, and sometimes they'll throw a bone to the dogs. They'll throw you a little bone. Ain't much meat on it, but they're throwing you something. I think that we're living in an era now where the rich either have forgotten that or don't care. And I mean that as in regular white folks, and I mean it as in these Jeff Bezos and those guys. I think they've moved beyond that. That's why you see a more militarized police force. That's why you see all this privatized space missions. That's what this is. We're leaving the poor behind. We're no longer interested in maintaining what I just said, maintaining capitalism. It's crumbling, but we'll keep, we'll fix that. It's kind of like if I was a landlord, and I'm like, all right, I'll fix your heater, but I ain't fixing that door. I'll fix this, but I ain't fixing that. And it's stuff that doesn't cost much. It's stuff that they could do themselves. And it makes you feel better They're not really doing anything. I really feel as though you've got to really be a sucker as a Caucasian to feed into this bullshit. You've got to really be a sucker. This is why I don't feel bad about the opioids. I don't talk about it. I don't feel bad about that at all. I don't sit here and make jokes about it, but I don't feel bad for them. Not at all. I think that's the hand of God working upon the hand of the wicked. And if it wasn't true, tell me if I'm wrong. Why is it mostly white people in these racist ass cracker states getting sick? Think about that for a second. West Virginia. You ever been to West Virginia? You ever talked to them? You ever talked to them people before? You ever been up there and went in a restaurant, went in a store, see how they act? Looking at when they look down, they don't even want to look in your eyes and shit. Yeah, fuck them crackers and fuck their kids. You could tell them I said that. Damn about them or their ragged ass state. I was working at Walmart one time. They had some kind of a storm. River had overflowed, I think, and this one guy I met up there was like, this one's in Ohio, so I was working for Columbus. I was at Washington Courthouse. The guy was like, "Oh, river," and I'm sitting up here like, he was doing an emergency load. I know what that was. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't give a fuck about them. I delivered to West Virginia. I don't give a fuck about those people. Period. And if it wasn't for the fact that they've been so blatant in things I've seen to just be so blatantly racist, I wouldn't feel that way. But I'm at the age now to where I'm not going to sit here and pretend with white people and try to play a game. Going back to the beginning, I wonder what it's like to know everybody you deal with hates you. Your kids fucking hate you. And time is on my side. Time isn't on your side, cracker. Capitalism, listen, you know why I say that? Because people will say, well, those kids will one day grow up. Yeah, they may. But here's the problem. Capitalism isn't even functioning the way it did in your age. Like this guy was talking about with the tankers, how years ago you had fuel tankers. You had like these big refineries, Shell, they would deliver their own gas, and how they had all these little benefits and stuff. Kind of like what Walmart does with their drivers. He was talking about a lot of that's gone since the recession. You don't have that. And I'm just like, these are truckers, the most conservative group out there, acknowledging that we have not recovered from the recession. I can have a discussion with a guy like that. Because most times they're like, well, you're unpatriotic. No, I'm being real. There's been no recovery. We're not the same country we were before '08. Period. I'm talking about economic security. We're not. Wouldn't take much. Things like that give me hope. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of like I watched Eco Shock. One was talking about how oil prices going up will help with climate change because people won't buy as much fuel and gas and all that stuff. And that's sad because for working class people like me and my friend Dizelle and all of us, we need these jobs. Even though I recognize that hauling fuel is very destructive to the environment. I always felt weird as a socialist or a person who is concerned about the environment to do that kind of job. I always felt weird knowing I'm pressing buttons at Shell and Chevron and Circle K. I felt really weird about that. And that's life. I'm just trying to survive. Like I said in the earlier video talking about conservatives talking about gay people, saying, oh, liberals, they pump gas, but they'll take the gas from people who are over in their country, they hang gay people, but in this country, I'm just like, so that means we need to move away from fossil fuels. That's not an indictment of the left. Like I said in the video, because we're just trying to survive. There is no liberal mafia. There is no socialist mafia. It doesn't exist. Historically, it has not existed. Back in the day with the hippies, it didn't exist. They may have bought people out for certain causes, certain things, but if you think there's money in the left, you're an idiot. Historically, you're a complete idiot. We're the folks at the bottom. We're the folks that brought in public schooling. We're the people who brought in the 5-day work, 40-hour work week. We're the people who brought in pensions. We're the people who brought in ending sweatshops and child labor. We're people at the bottom. We're working class. We've always been. And I guess that makes conservatives feel good. I don't have to look into some shady corner to explain to you the money behind the right wing, the Koch brothers, Murdoch, and Fox, Fox and all that shit. These fossil fuel oil companies, tobacco companies. What's another one I'm thinking about? I don't have to sit and look in a dark corner to find people like that and see how they have an impact upon politics. I don't have to do that. I can show you that very easily. I saw something a while back. I think I mentioned it. Talking about that liberals operate off of outrage. I'd say you got a lot to be outraged about. That may be true. I spoke earlier on another video about prison employees doing a Nazi salute, stuff like that. And the fact that it took a week for anything to even happen. It shows you the system's broken down. The system is not working the way it should. It shows you you have a moral issue, moral sickness there, that we're even having this issue in 2019. Peace, y'all.